Cinema. Oh my lord. The trailer that we got for The Flash is awesome. Don't you roll your eyes at
No.
me.
Dude,
You
don't
piece of
oversell it.
shit.
Don't oversell it.
I'm
I think
not overselling anything.
you are. You
Look,
are.
am I overselling it by saying it might be the best movie trailer of all time?
Yes. Yes.
I disagree.
I think we can now, after trailer number 2, so we got the first trailer 6 weeks, 2 months ago, and we're like, oh, this might actually be really good. The second trailer, I think, sort of affirms that this movie's not going to be bad. However, you can see that where we're trending with this. There's way too many people talking about GOAT status of this movie before it's come out, and I can already see how it's not going to go that well. I do think there's a solid chance it's going to be the best DC movie we've seen since, one of the Nolan movies. But to pretend like this has a chance to be the best comic book movie of all time is a lie. It's a complete and utter lie.
There's a line in the sand. The fence is right here.
Yeah.
I'm on the right side of history, and I'm going to tell you right now, this is going to be a top 10 comic book movie of all time.
No, it's definitely not. I think if you just look at, and we'll be reviewing an MCU movie next week, off the top of my head, guaranteed it wouldn't crack the top 7 of the MCU. As good as it, there's no chance, zero chance it'll be that good.
Crack the top 4.
No, I think it could
this
be
might be number 1.
For you to go that far above and beyond is kind of insane to me, because number 1, there's no buildup. Number 2, it means nothing going forward.
Did you not see the Snyderverse?
It lives on its own, and I agree that inherently you're higher and I'm lower because you're a Keaton Batman guy and I'm not. And so I think a lot of the appeal of this movie is going to be how much you like Keaton as Batman. And I actually do think he's a solid Batman. I think he's a terrible Bruce Wayne, and we probably won't get much Bruce Wayne, which is good.
Want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
That's the worst line of Batman 89.
Gave me chills.
The worst line of this trailer, and I will never back down from that.
I was like, he said it.
You know what it is, too, is it perfectly encapsulates how bad of a Bruce Wayne he is. That is not Bruce Wayne. And it's never going to be Bruce Wayne.
That wasn't his fault, all right? Jack Nicholson was there chewing up the scenery, and he had to be seen, okay?
And that line epitomizes how bad of a Bruce Wayne
I'm going to toss this out. That line might not be in the movie. That might have just been a trailer line.
It'll probably be.
No, it might, but I'm saying it also might not be. That might be one just let's get the people talking.
But anyways, let's get back to the trailer outside of the expectations for the movie. We got some of this in the first one, but this one is the real deep-seated trailer. We learned that Barry and Keaton's Bruce Wayne connect over the whole dead parents thing, which is fine. I get that. It's a good plot device for the movie. We learned that Barry has already time traveled and already sort of reset stuff, and now he's going to go back and undo that and sort of try to he basically has to reset things after he's already changed things.
And Keaton's Bruce Wayne also makes a point of saying that you've changed the past, but he says it in a way of Barry either saved his parents or Barry might have saved Bruce's parents. He says it in a way that it could have gone either way. It makes more sense for Barry to save his own, but Bruce does kind of leave it up to an interpretation.
I didn't read that the same way. I think it's clear he went back, saved his parents. And now
no, I'm aware of that, but he does say it in a way of you saved parents. I'm not telling you exactly whose, though.
Okay. I think you're reading too much into that, but
it's the best trailer of all time. That's fine.
We really figured out that Kara here, Superwoman, Supergirl. What is her title?
I don't think they'll say girl in this because it's kind of,
okay.
Don't do that anymore.
Super Kara,
that's her name. That's how you save her identity.
To defeat Zod, because they're going to need a Kryptonian level sort of super to defeat Zod. I wonder how much the Zod stuff is going to play up. I don't care about Zod specifically, or I should say especially because Superman is not here. So I feel like that's going to not come across as well. I do think that this actress that's playing Kara, I don't know which one she goes by, is coming across a little not so great, but also she sort of should be robotic, right? Because she's an alien and she's probably just woken up from her cocoon. It does seem like she's going to provide some cool action though.
I'm also curious what the S on her chest stands for, because she makes a point of saying, "Do you know what this stands for?" And they know. They're like, "Oh, it means hope." And then she kind of pauses for a second. Like, does hers mean something else?
Well, it's the Kal-El family
Yeah.
insignia or whatever, right? So it definitely could mean something else, and that would be a good spot to reintroduce a different meaning on that. We also I know there was going to be 2 Barrys, 2 Flashes in this movie, but now we know they're going to be in it for the whole runtime. 2 Ezra Millers, 2 Barrys, which is going to be
Get it?
really interesting. Like, it's like a really interesting decision to do that because, especially knowing what we know about Ezra Miller now, but that must have cost them so much money to shoot that, you know?
I don't know. Have you seen The Parent Trap? To Lindsay Lohan.
I have liked Ezra Miller as the Flash. Ezra Miller can be annoying though.
Yes.
If that makes sense. So
He
wonder
seems toned down in the trailers though, but obviously we haven't seen the scenes of him, kind of goofing around.
Right. It'll be interesting to see how they play with the 2 of them. Batfleck is here, which I'm excited for. Like, for me, if this movie was 80% Batfleck and 20% Keaton, I would be more excited. And it seems like it's going to be 80% Keaton, 20% Batfleck.
And Affleck has said he's finally nailed this character,
which is even more reason for why there should be more Batfleck here, but I don't think that's going to be the case. There's also what I thought to be a pretty stupid line in here, because if it is true, it's going to bring the movie way down. If it's not true, we sort of know that already. Like, Barry says to other Barry, nobody dies, talking about how they're going to go back and reset things. But I feel like if this movie is going to be as good as they say it is, there's going to be all sorts of sacrifice and all sorts of death among these characters that we're never even going to see again. So you might as well kill a lot of them. If we get a happy ending to all this, I'm not going to like that.
Maybe the goal is no one dies, but people just die.
I know that, but that still makes it a dumb line if the audience knows everyone's going to die and the main character doesn't.
No, but like, we don't want to kill people, but it might just happen. Well, that's what saying.
It should happen.
Yeah, definitely no, I think it should too, because it's dealing with, multiversal characters. And I'm guessing moving forward, you don't need all of these characters from the different multiverses.
100%. Yeah. And speaking of that, good segue. Now, if you don't want to hear some of the confirmed cameos in this movie, and I'm sure there's going to be more than what I'm about to read, skip ahead about 2 minutes. We'll talk about this briefly here.
Yeah.
Confirmed cameos for this movie. And it gets me a little excited to see like how out there they're getting. This is what's going to play to me a little bit. Adam West's Batman is going to be brought in CGI wise. I'm sure we'll just see him as they're running through the Speedverse, whatever the hell it's called.
Or they climb up a building or something.
Yeah. Linda Carter's Wonder Woman is going to make an appearance in this. I don't know for how long. They are going to have Jay Garrick's Flash, which is the original Flash, specifically the Teddy Sears version from the CW show. I'm sure that'll play up to the CW folks, which is they're sneaky as a lot of those CW folks that have stuck along with all this. They're bringing in Christopher Reeves as Superman CGI wise. I don't know how that's going to play. So maybe he'll just be again in a thing in the Speedverse.
Look at that blue dot in the sky. Christopher Reeves? I think so.
Henry Cavill's Superman will appear as well. Who knows for how long? He hasn't spoken about this movie at all. This is the best one. And this is what makes me really happy. And I hope this is like they spent some time in this world.
I hope it's true. This might be one that let's sneak it in there and see if it's actually real.
Nicolas Cage's Superman will be making an appearance in this, specifically fighting a giant robot spider. I need to live in that world for at least 2 or 3 minutes.
Also, this Nicolas Cage Superman needs to have the super deep V-neck like we see in all the other ones. His suit needs to look like a fruit roll-up, and he needs to have a mullet.
I just want to spend some time in that universe. That's all. And then 3 that they've been talked about for a while. 2 that were guaranteed. Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, Jason Momoa as Aquaman, and the one we all suspected for a long time now, George Clooney will be returning as Batman. It sounds like not during most of the runtime, but towards in the third act of this movie, which is I'm actually looking forward to. Like, that's a guy that deserves redemption in the character for sure.
So with Clooney's Batman being in this movie, I have a sneaking suspicion because Clooney's Batman and Keaton's Batman are the same person. It's a
Yes,
recasted
that's
version
true.
of the same
Do
person.
you think that they keep that though as
Well, so
canon?
I'm glad you asked me that, Mac. So this might not be the exact same Keaton from the Burtonverse,
Right.
which might allow them to stray a little bit. And is this Keaton sneaky the bad guy of this movie? I might be saying this because Keaton plays a great bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
But does he have objectives in this movie that don't align with the Flash and he ends up being the bad guy?
That's going to be interesting because I have a hard time believing that Zod is the main villain of this movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the only real villain
And he
we've
has to be
seen.
going up against somebody, right?
Right. That's the only real villain we've seen. Although I suppose you could just say that time travel is the villain. You got to fix that.
Or Barry's Barry's his own villain.
Right.
Yeah.
So if it's not, first of all, I don't think Keaton's going to be the villain of this movie. I could see the two Barrys splitting at some point.
And then one of them being, okay.
And then the third act is sort of Flash versus Flash. There is something up there with who the ultimate villain is in the movie, and I think that's going to make or break the how high this lands in the pantheon of comic book movies.
Well, I'm going to put my Goostradamus, Goovy Psychic on the line here. Keaton's the bad guy.
All right. But again, Goo, I don't think this has any chance to get remotely near the best comic book movie of all time, which is why I think we got to temper it a little bit.
Nope.
But if it is the best DC movie that we've seen since the Nolan movies, that's still a pretty damn good movie. Like, other than the Suicide Squad, Shazam, and the first Wonder Woman, there's not much to speak of. So if this is like 37 Dogs, it's probably the best DC movie since those Nolan movies.
Cinema. Amber Heard is confirmed for Aquaman and the Lost City.
That's not the title of the movie.
What did I say?
City.
Whatever. Who gives a shit?
This is actually pretty notable because around her whole legal issues and that court case with Johnny Depp, no one had any idea if she would be appearing in this movie or in movies for quite a bit. And it turns out she's back still as Mara, and from what I read, has a pretty prominent role. It's not just a cameo of her. I think this movie's gonna be fucking terrible, Goo.
I really do too. And I saw a little synopsis here that Arthur and Orm team up in this one.
This was the movie we talked about, I think, about maybe a month or 6 weeks ago, where the test screenings were the worst that DC
People
has
were
ever
leaving
had.
a free test screening.
So reshoots, rewrites, new editing can't save that. So it's just really, how bad is it gonna be, really?
Cinema. Oh, at CinemaCon. Yes, something that actually happened at CinemaCon. Sony's Kraven the Hunter will be rated R and quite gory.
Yes, Aaron Taylor Johnson, who is playing Kraven the Hunter, I think zoomed in. He wasn't even there. Did a nice PowerPoint presentation, which included R-rated footage of Kraven the Hunter.
He actually created the R-rated. He created the PowerPoint.
Yes, he did all laser writing too. He showed this footage. It also included imagery of Kraven wearing that signature fur that you see in all his comic book outfits. Rhino's apparently also in this, played by Alessandro Nivola. I don't know who that is.
Bullshit! Justice for Giamatti. Justice for Agent Cody Banks or Big Fat Liar.
Whichever one he was in. If you recall, the last time we saw Rhino was Paul Giamatti in a mechanical suit and some mech, which was the closing scene of The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Horrible scene.
Someone named J.C. Shandor is directing. I don't know who this person is, but that is a fact that I'm telling you right now. Apparently, Russell Crowe is also in this and playing Kraven's father. That's going to be interesting. Whatever. And then Ariana DeBose is in this as Calypso, Kraven's love interest. She's like this voodoo priestess sort of character. I gotta admit, was not in on this movie, but the fact that it's rated R gives me some hope that it's going to be kind of cool.
Also, what I really want, because Spider-Man's probably not in this movie, but it's linked to a Spider-Man movie. When you're doing these, let's get as outlandish as possible. You're
Sure.
not making this for a mainstream audience. You're
Right.
making this for, people that crave this Kraven character.
Yeah, and I agree. All I want is this is not the blueprint, but like Morpheus didn't have Spider-Man in it. They mentioned him at the end.
Mac wants Morpheus.
I want Spider-Man to be maybe mentioned at the end or come in very late, but I do not want this to be a Spider-Man centric.
You know what I want this to be? Goo, have you ever seen this little indie film called Morpheus?
Yeah, it's
Morbius.
the lead singer of 30 Seconds to Mars. He's the lead.
This little actor no one really talks about. I think they should use the blueprint, and I'm not saying to make this movie, but make it as weird as a Joker.
Oh, don't tell me that, Goo. I don't like that.
Rated
movie.
R, make a lot of money.
Yeah, but that is too grounded almost, right? I want more comic booky stuff.
So make a comic book version of Joker.
Morpheus.
Morbius.
Morbius. That's what it is.
Why you keep on saying Morbius? I'm like,
That's
is he doing a bit right now?
No, that's how good that movie is. I was referring to a Matrix character the whole time.
Cinema? Mac, let's rip through some more CinemaCon stuff here. Barbie had a little presentation. Lots of Kenergy talk.
Yeah, Ryan Gosling talked about how he was really confused as to how to play this plastic Ken doll character. And he said that Greta Gerwig and Marge Bob sort of like gave him the juice, talked about this Kenergy that he needed to have. And so everyone that's involved in the movie seems excited for the movie and to promote the movie. I still don't know what it's going to be.
I don't know what it's about.
I still have no idea. And maybe that's a good thing.
Cinema? Dune 2 or Tune.
Yeah, they had some Tune footage here at the con. Apparently it featured Timmy Chalamet riding a sandworm. And they said it picks up right where part one finishes, which
As it should. Yeah,
a fan of that because part one didn't have an ending. So I'm actually legitimately excited for this movie so that we can complete the Dune movie because it's just one.
Of Shal's Cinema. Wonka.
Now, I don't know if I'm getting shitted here. I feel like this is bullshit. Shal says he swam in actual chocolate and got too many tummy aches from all the chocolate he ate while filming Wonka. Now that seems fake.
Did he say it like that? Do you have the audio of that?
He did. I also changed the word stomach to tummy. Can you swim in?
Because I thought he was saying like, I got too many tummy aches.
Tummy aches.
Oh, my tummy really hurt.
I don't think you can. The consistency of chocolate, I don't think one can swim in it. I think you would just sink and die.
No, you could swim in that.
Seems
maybe
unlikely.
You couldn't. I'm quite buoyant.
Seems unlikely. I think you could swim in chocolate milk.
I mean, you definitely could. That's milk. It's a liquid.
Oh, you're speaking from experience? Is that?
Oh, yeah.
Also, Goo, what a tidbit this is. Hugh Grant will be playing an Oompa Loompa in this movie.
Yeah, who else is playing Oompa Loompas in this? Because when I first read it, I'm like, is he playing all the Oompa Loompas?
I was wondering that as well. Yeah.
But if they're just saying specifically one, is he the main Oompa Loompa? Are there more Oompa Loompas? I don't know why, but I feel like Aquafina might be one.
I'm also really intrigued as to how the small person body is going to take the CGI Hugh Grant face.
Well, have you ever seen, what's that movie with the little people?
I thought you were talking about the Marlon Wayans movie.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Little Man.
Where he plays a
baby. Well, no, he plays a small person that is trying to act like a baby. And Brittany Daniels is in it.
Brittany Daniels is very attractive.
Yeah, you ever see Joe Dirt?
Sure have.
Yeah. It's good CinemaCon talk. Cinema! Mac, what the H is Wish?
I was going to ask you. It's a Disney animated movie that I feel like coming into the air we should have known more about. Wish is going to be starring Chris Pine as the voice of King Magnifico, ruler of the kingdom of Rosas. And it's coming to theaters in November. It's not even a Disney Plus release. It's coming to theaters, and I had never heard of this thing.
That's my wish.
My wish for you.
I've only seen that song on ESPN. Cinema. Next Goal Wins trailer. This looks very Taika Waititi.
Yeah, this is the Taika Waititi movie we talked about a bit in our movie draft. It is about the American Samoa soccer team that is historically bad, like the worst team of all time. Michael Fassbender is playing the head coach of the team, trying to like shape them up.
Yeah.
It looks fun. It's going to be a very unserious movie. I need these Taika Waititi type movies every so often to like refresh me. You know what I mean?
I really hope that they save some jokes from the trailer, though.
Sure, yeah, but it's also like the foil of Michael Fassbender up against those characters is going to be funny throughout.
We hope
It will.
Cinema. Oppenheimer.
This is the next Christopher Nolan movie, if you hadn't heard, and it feels like recently, because this is the second time Nolan has talked about Oppenheimer as a historical character. He was quoted at CinemaCon of saying, "Picture the finest minds in the country in a desperate race with the Nazis to harness the power of the atom. Like it or not, J. Robert Oppenheimer," didn't realize that he was J. Robert, "is the most important person who has ever lived." That's a bold statement. "He made the world we live in, for better or for worse. His story has to be seen to be believed." I don't know why
he's job.
Yeah, I don't know why he's trying to sell us on this. Like, he should realize that as Christopher Nolan, we're going to go see his movie, whether we know anything about it or not. Tenet was one of the most confusing movies I've ever seen, and I still saw it.
Well, do you know that
kind of
Tenet
liked it
backwards is Tenet? Have you picked up on that yet?
I wonder if the studio is forcing him to do more pub for this, because the studio's like, this movie's not so great.
Well, it's also going up against Barbie on that weekend,
right? And all that Kenergy as opposed to nuclear Kenergy. I'm gonna see this movie. I don't need to be sold on it. Like, I'm sure we're gonna learn about who Oppenheimer is in the movie. I don't need to be learned knowledge outside of the movie.
Cinema. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
Yeah, this movie's here. I'll see this in the theaters if we get the screener on a convenient day. Otherwise, I'll see it 6 months afterwards.
Cinema. Transformers: Rise of Beasts.
Now, this is a movie I'll be pulling a Nolan on. I'll be selling everyone on this movie. This is apparently going to be set in 1994, and I maybe I misremembered this. It's supposed to be set a little bit after the Haley Steinfeld Bumblebee movie. Was that movie set in the 90s?
80s.
Oh, okay. I guess I forgot that. They'll be dealing with the villain Unicron, who is a planet-eating machine, basically.
And the death of Kurt Cobain.
Yes, which occurred in 1994. Comes out June 9th, dude. Not too far away. 6 weeks away. I don't know if I'm excited for it, but I am cautiously optimistic for it. We'll be seeing it opening weekend for sure.
Cinema. Hunger Games. We're back and still hungry.
The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I sneaky really liked the 4 Hunger Games movies we got, probably because I'm a Jennifer Lawrence simp. But I like the idea of the Hunger Games. This is a prequel to that and to Katniss Everdeen. It's set 64 years before her Hunger Games. This comes out, I think, right around Thanksgiving. And I believe this is the 10th overall Hunger Games. Apparently, there's a whole story about how this is the one that changed the Hunger Games forever. I'll see this movie. I can't pretend I'm super excited for it, but I think the idea of the Hunger Games sells me. Just that it's a fun idea, so I'm in on that.
Cinema. Beetlejuice 2 has been announced.
Apparently, Jenna Ortega is attached to this project.
Yes, I believe Lydia's daughter.
Yeah, that makes sense. She gives off Beetlejuice vibes, so I guess.
Yeah, I was gonna say though, is she kind of pigeonholing herself though?
For sure, she's definitely trending down that path. But Aubrey Plaza was sort of pigeonholed as that, and she's gotten out of it a bit.
That's a good point.
I think it's possible. This is not a movie I want or need, so I hope they have a lot of fun with it.
I'm curious how much Keaton's Beetlejuice will be in the movie, because he's only in about 10 to 15 minutes of the first movie. So do they try and do more Beetlejuice, or do they still do like, you have to wait 45 minutes to see him?
Would have to be, it would be like the Adventures of Beetlejuice. It would have to be.
That was such a good animated show. Man. Yeah.
I remember watching it. I don't remember a thing from it.
I had the toys. The toys were great. Step right up. Cinema. Kung Fu Panda 4.
Yeah, this was announced. Apparently, they're going to bring back a lot of the villains he's fought previously. I must admit, these movies do really well critically and make a lot of money. Not the biggest Kung Fu Panda guy.
I don't remember any of them.
Okay.
Besides, plop.
Is that
his catchphrase?
Yeah. So it makes us similar. That makes us great, Goo.
Spladoosh?
They're good movies, and the fourth one's coming out.
Guys, what is his catchphrase?
Kung
It's not Khan. Is it Splachow?
Fu Panda.
I know that Lightning McQueen's is Kachow, so it's not that. Is it Spladoosh?
They don't have the same one?
Cinema. Avatar, The Last Airbender.
This will be an animated movie as a continuation from the show, the manga, or whatever the technical term for those things are. Apparently, there's going to be a time jump, too. The characters that we see in the show that are like teenage, they're going to be late 20s or early 30s.
And Jenna Ortega is their daughter.
This should do really well. I never actually finished the Nickelodeon series. It's like the most beloved anime of all time, though. So,
Cinema. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 announced 2024.
I mean, rolling off the back of the second movie, which did extremely well. First movie did really well, actually, too. And, of course, this Mario movie. Yeah. They're just going to keep making these movies. And I hope they get zanier as they go.
Cinema. A Quiet Place Day 1 will be set in New York.
Yeah, Lupita Nyong'o's character will be playing a mother trying to survive. I think this movie is going to be, like, relatable's not the word, but a mother trying to survive, you can get behind.
That sounds like you, yes.
Yeah, I'm like the Reba McEntire in her theme song there.
My roots are planted in the past.
This is also something they toyed with in the second movie, so I'm actually looking forward to day one stuff for A Quiet Place.
Cinema. Ridley Scott's Napoleon, starring Joaquin Phoenix, releases on Thanksgiving.
This is real cinema, it seems like, and I bet this will be major award fodder. I will not be seeing it.
I hope it's him trying for major award fodder one more time, and once again they say, no thanks.
You're nominated, but no.
What was that one with Ben Affleck, and he has like a white goatee?
Oh, Christ.
Him and Matt Damon?
With Joaquin Phoenix?
No, not Joaquin Phoenix. It's Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, and Adam Driver.
The Last Night?
The Last Night?
Is that what it is?
Yeah. Because that was made to, get some awards, and then that didn't happen.
I think
those
Damon
damn kids were on their cell phones. Cinema. Ghostbusters Afterlife sequel, and they showed some footage.
Yeah, they showed footage of some of the cast members of Ghostbusters Afterlife playing around in New York City. So it looks like they're going to be going back to New York City. I wonder if there's a time jump and the kids are aged up a little bit and they get back into some of the stuff that we saw in the
original. They get older. Paul Rudd stays the same age.
It's true. Damn, it's true.
Cinema. The Equalizer 3, which, may I just say this movie already gets a huge thumbs down, 0 hot dogs. It should be called The Threequalizer.
Yeah, good point. Great point, Q. It's reuniting Dakota Fanning and of course, Denzel Washington. I'm baseline gonna like everything Denzel Washington does. I want him to stop making sequels. I want him to do new stuff.
Cinema. And then finally, David Gordon Green's next reboot is The Exorcist Believer. And I'll tell you what I'm not a believer in, this movie.
Yeah, this is, if you forgot this gentleman,
I saw her face.
He's the one who rebooted the Halloween franchise and that shitbag trilogy. So please, I hope this just dies in the water. There's no way they can let him do this again. You actually skipped one here.
What did I skip?
Con! Fast X Part 2.
No, you say cinema. Say cinema.
No.
Just say cinema once.
Cinema!
That was perfect.
Goo, what are we doing? We live in a world where all the Fast movies are titled ridiculously, and now they're going to give us Fast X Part 2. What do you
Love
put
it.
a part 2 on there? Why
Love
would you
it.
do part 11? Come on.
Love it.
Come
It's
on.
0.5. It's like
You could have
Timon
used
and
the
Pumbaa.
you could have used the tall part in the F and the tall part in the T as the 11. Would have just made too much sense. This is slated for 2025, so I guess if you're in the mood for part 2 of the 10th Fast movie, you're in luck.
Cinema.